coming to OPHC's The Tragedy of Macbeth. This play was first performed in 1606 for King James I of England and Scotland, and 409 years later, our young performers have embraced this dark and powerful world of witches, murder, and the supernatural. The cast and crew would like to thank their family and friends for their unending support. Without it, this production would not have been at all possible. If you could take a moment now to silence your devices, if you haven't already done so. Looks like everyone's all experienced in this. Photography and video are permitted, but for the safety of our actors, please turn off all flash functions when you're taking your photos. Here's the big thing. There are three exits out of the range. There's this side door here, the lobby doors where you had entered, and then downstairs, just past our bake sale and past the temperamental bathrooms, is our final exit. Regarding the septic system, it's a little bit delicate right now, and so please observe the signs that are there inside the facilities. If you have more urgent matters, there is porta potty just past that back door of the building. Let's see. I think that was it. The potty was the big thing. I want to thank you again very much for coming to our opening night. Welcome to the world of Macbeth.
When shall we three meet again, in thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the early dawn, when the battle's lost and won.
There'll be air, the set of sun,
Where the place?
Upon the heath,
there to meet with Macbeth.
I come, Grimalkin.
cannot call.
Anon,
Fair is foul, and foul is fair.
hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, the revolt of the new estate.
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hearty soldier fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, say to the king the knowledge of the royal as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spoke swimmers that do cling together, and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, for that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him. From the western isles of currents to the galley glasses is supplied, and fortune on this damned quarrel smiling showed like a rebel's war. But all's too weak. For brave Macbeth, well, he deserves that name, dispaying fortune with his brandished steel which smoked with bloody execution. Like valor's meaning carved out his passage, till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands, nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from their knaves to their chops, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
O valiant cousin, worthy gentleman!
As winds the sun gains his reflection, shipwrecking storms and direful thunders break. So from that when comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark! No sooner justice had, with valor armed, compelled these skipping turns to trust their heels. But the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began afresh at the soul.
Dismayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
Yes, as sparrows, eagles, and the hair of the line, I must report there as cannons overcharged with double cracks. So they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe. Except they might evade the reeking wounds, or memorize another golden thought. I cannot tell, but I am faint, my gashes cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wounds. They smack of honor both. Go get him surgeons. Who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
What a haste looks to his eyes, so should he look, that seems to speak things strange.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Firefit king, where the Norwegian banner cloud the sky, banner people quote. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal attack till beloved bridegroom, lapped and crew, report against point, rebellious arm against arm, and to conclude, the victory fell upon us.
Great happiness.
That now Swado, the Norway's king, created his composition. Neither will we deign him burial of his men, till he dispersed at St. Colum's $10,000 to our general use.
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title, great Macbeth.
I shall see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
afraid running cries.
Her husband's to a pale gone, master o' the tiger, when sad I hear her sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do.
I give thee a wind.
Thou art kind.
And I another.
I myself have all the other, and the very puts they blow, all the cords that they know. As the shipman card, I'll drain him dry as hay. Sleep should neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid, he shall live a man forbid. Weary 7 nights, 9 times 9, shall he dwindle, peak and pine. Though his bark cannot be lost, yet it should be tempest tossed. Look what I have.
Show me, show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb wrecked as homeward to become.
A drum, Macbeth doth come. The weird sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus to go about, thrice to thine and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Peace! The charms wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How far is called before us? What are these so and so well in their attire that look not like the inhabitants of the earth that are on it? Live you, or are you at that maddening question? You seem to understand me, but each at once your choppy fingers want to on your stained lips. You should be woman, and yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so.
Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis. All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth, thou shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start in some of your things? You sound so fair. If name of truth, are you fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly you show?
Hail. Hail.
Lesser than Macbeth, and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get king, but thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Stay, you imperfect speakers. Tell me more. By Sinel's death, I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman. And to be king stays not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why, upon this blasted heath, you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you!
The earth has bubbles as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air, and what seemed corporal melted, as breath into the wind.
Were such things here as we do speak about, or have we eaten on the insane root that keeps the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings,
You shall be king.
and Thane of Cawdor too, would it not so?
To the self-same tune and words. Who's here?
The king hath happily received Macbeth the news of thy success, and when he reads thy curseful venture in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praise do contend, which should be thine or his. Silence with that, and viewing o'er the restless self-same day, he finds thee in the stout Norwegian race, and every one to bear thy name and his country's great defense, and pour them down before him.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee.
And for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee the Thane of Cawdor, in which addition him a worthy thing for design.
What can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who is the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment that bears that life which he deserves to lose. Whether he was confined with those of Norway, or denied the rebel with hidden help and vantage, or that with both he labored in his country's wrack, I know not. But treason's capital confessed and proved have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
Oftentimes, to us to our harms, the instruments of darkness tell us truths to betray us in deepest consequences. Cousins, or to pray you.
Two truths are told, as happy prologues to the swelling act of imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why have they given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, I do yield to that suggestion, whose horrid image doth unfix my hair, and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature. Present fears are less than horrible imaginings.
Look how our partner's wrapped.
Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day. Come, let us toward the king.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back. But I spoke with one who saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like believing it. He died as one that has been studied in his death to throw away the dearest thing he owed as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. O worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now is heavy on thee. Thou art so far that swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hast thus deserved, that proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more as I do, than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne, and state children, and servants, which do but what they should, by doing everything safe toward your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, that hast no less deserved, nor must be known to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, any whose places are nearest, know we will establish our state upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland. Whose honor must not unaccompanied, but invest him only, like stars shall shine on all deservers. From hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the news of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a sip in which I must fall down, or else o'erleap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye, wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
True worthy Banquo, he is full so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. Let's after him, whose care has gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air, into which they vanished. Whiles I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me, Thane of Cawdor, by which tell before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time with Hail, King that shalt be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. And yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness that should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, thou wouldst thou holily, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou'dst have, great Glamis, that which cries, thus thou must do, if thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do, than wishest should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee frowned withal. Hark! The raven himself is hoarse. that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect in it. Come to my woman's breasts and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substance you tend on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold. Great Gloms, worthy Cawdor, greater than the both by the all hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my fame, is as a book from men may read strange matters. Beguile the time, look like the time, bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like an innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and ye shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
I have observed. The air is delicate.
Cece, our honored hostess, the love that follows us sometime is our trouble, which still we think is love.
All your servants have theirs themselves, and what is theirs in compt? To return your audit at your highness's pleasure, still to return your own.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels and had a purpose to be his purveyor. But he rides well, and his great love, sharp as his spur, hath holpen him to his home before us.
All our service, and every point twice done, and then done double, were poor and single business to contend against those honors deep and broad, wherewith your majesty loads our house. For those of old, and the great dignities heaped up to them, we rest your hermits.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done, when 'tis done, then 'twere what were done quickly. If the assassination could tremble up the consequence, and catch with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. But in these cases we still have judgment here, though we would teach bloody instructions, which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poison chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then, as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which overleaps itself and falls on the other. How now? What news?
He hath almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have got golden opinions from all sorts of people, which will be worn now in their newest gloss, and not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself, and wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time, such I account thy love. Art thou feared to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not, wait upon I would, like the poor cat in that.
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man. Who dare do more is none.
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man, and to be much more than what you were, you would be so much more than. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from its boneless gums, and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail?
We fail, but screw your courage to the sticking point, and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, for to the rather shall his hard day's journey soundly invite him, will I, with wine and wassail, so convince that memory, the water of the brain, shall be as a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lie as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan, when those sleepy too shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men and children only, for thine dauntless metal should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber, and use their very daggers that they have done?
Who dares receive the other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor more upon his death?
I am saddened, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down, I have not heard the clock.
And she goes down at 12.
I take it is later, sir.
Colton, take my sword. There's husbandry in heavens. Their candles are all out. A heavy summon lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not rest. Merciful powers, restrain me of cursed thoughts and introduce way to repose. Give me my sword. Who's there?
A friend.
What, sir? I dare not rest. King's a bed. Yeah, their non-usual pleasure, and send forth great largesse to your offices.
Being unprepared, our will became a servant to defect. Which else should free abroad?
This diamond he greets your wife with all, and shut up the miser's content.
When we can treat an hour or so, we would spend it with some words upon the business.
Thanks, sir. Like you.
Is this a dagger, which I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I hold thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation, proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. It is the bloody visage which informs thus to mine eyes. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time, which now suits with it. Whilst I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds, too cold breath gives. I go, and 'tis done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan. What is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell?
What hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! Peace. It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman that gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What? Oh!
Alack, I'm afraid they have awaked, and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark! I laid their daggers ready. He could not miss him. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. My husband.
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl screech and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
What?
Now.
As I descended?
I.
Hark. Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh and sleep, and one cried murder if they did wake each other. But they did say their prayers and address them again to sleep.
There are to lodge together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other. Listening to their fear, I could not say amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I had most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These things must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. Sleep. The innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care. Sore labor's bath bomb of hurt minds. Chief nourisher in life's feast.
Who was it that thus cried?
Still it cried, sleep no more, to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
What do you mean? Why, worthy thing, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brainsickly of things? Go, get some water, and wash this filthy witness from your hands. Why did you bring the daggers? They must lie there. Go, carry them, and smear the sleepy groom's blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look on't again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose, give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictured. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears the tainted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the groom withal, for it must seem their guilt.
What knocking is this? How is it me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here? Ah, they pluck out mine eyes. Will all the great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No, this my hand will rather the multitudinous seas of Incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. How easy it is then. A little water clears us of the steed. Your constancy hath left you unattended. Put on your nightgown, lest occasion call us and show us be watchers.
To know my deed, should best not know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking, I would thou couldst.
Here's a knocking indeed. If man were porter of Hell Gate, he should have all turned the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Is the name Beelzebub, the farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of planting? Come and I have napkins enough about you for hail your...
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late?
Aye, sir, we were carousing till the second cock, and drink, sir, is broker of three things.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir, the very throat on me, but I required for him lie, and I being too strong for him, that sometimes he took up my legs, but I made a shift to cast him.
Is thy master stirring? Our knocking has awakened him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy thing?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I've almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to them.
I know this is a dreadful trouble to you, but yet it is one.
The labor we delight in physics pain. This is the door?
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down, and, as they say, Lamantines heard I the air strange screams of death, and prophesying with accents terrible of dire combustion and strange events, newly hatched the woeful time. The obscure bird clamored the lifelong night. Some say the earth was feverish and did shake.
It was a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel the fill to it.
Oh, horror! 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 Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder has broke ope the Lord's anointed temple, and still thence the life of the building.
What is you say? The life?
Mean you, his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See, and then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell! Murdering treason! Banquo and Donalbain, Malcolm, awake! Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death itself. Up, up, and see the great doom's image. Malcolm, Banquo, as from your graves rise up and walk like sprites that countenance this horror. Ring the bell!
What's the hideous trumpet that calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak! Speak!
O gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo, Banquo, our royal master's murdered.
Woe, alas, what in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear dove, I pray thee contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. But from this moment on, there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace are dead. The wine of life is drawn. Mere lees is left the vault to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are, and do not know it. The source, the head, the very fountain of your life is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
Oh, by whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had don't. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood, so were their daggers, which, unwiped, we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition of my violent love outran the pause of reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood. His gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage makes love known?
Help me, Hans. Help!
Look to the lady.
By and hold our tongues, the most may claim this argument for ours.
What should be spoken here where our fate hidden in our home may rush and seize us? Let's away, our tears are not yet brewed.
Nor our strong saw upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady. And when we have our native frailties hidden, we shall meet to question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. I fight Truce's malice. And so do I.
So all. Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Well contented.
What will you do? Let us not consort with them. Show an unfelt sorrows, and often which a false man does easy.
I'll go to England, to Ireland I, our separated fortunes shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there is daggers in men's smiles, the nearer blood, the nearer bloody.
This murderous shaft that's shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest raised before the aim. Henceforth the horse, let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that fact that steals itself when there's no mercy left.
Threescore, and 10 I can remember well. Within the volume of time I've seen hours dreadful and things strange. But this sore night hath trifled former knowings.
Call, good father. Thou seest the heavens as torn within death, and threatens the bloody stage. Is it night predominant or day shame that darkness does the face of earth until, with living light to kiss it?
Tis unnatural, even like the deeds that's done on Tuesday last. A falcon that ringing her private place was by a nazzing owl hawked and killed.
And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain. Beauteous and slept, the minions of their race, turned wild in nature, broke through their souls, continued as they make war with mankind.
It said they eat each other.
They did so to the amazement of my eyes were funny. Here comes the good Macbeth. How goes the world for now?
Why, see you not?
Is it known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth have slain.
Alas day, what good can they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's two sons, were stolen away and fled, which puts upon him suspicion of the deed.
Hurtful ambition that would raise up in untouched means. Then 'tis most likely the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to Scone to be invested.
Where's Duncan's body?
Carried to Comkill, the sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardian of their bones.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin, all to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu, lest our old road sit easier than our new.
Farewell, father.
God's best can go with you, and those that make good of bad and friends of foes.
Thou hast it now, King, Connor, Glums, all, as the weird woman promised. And I fear thou played most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in my posterity, and I should be the root and father of many kings. If there comes truth from them, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope. But hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gas in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming.
Jack will just hold the supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Thanks, sir. Like you.
Ready forth this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We would have most desired your good advice, which still hath been both brave and prosperous in this day's good counsel. But we'll take tomorrow. Is it far you ride?
Aye, my lord. As far my lord, I will fill up the time twixt this and supper.
Come on our feast.
My lord, I will not.
Goes Fidelity with you?
Aye, my lord. Our time does call upon us. Go not my horse the better. I will become a borrower of the night for a dark hour and twain.
I wish horses swift and sure foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be master of his time, till 7 at night. To make society the spirit of welcome, we'll keep ourselves till supper time alone. Well then, God be with you. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature there reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to the dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked, as it is said Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when they first put the name of king upon me and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like. They hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I followed my mind. For them the gracious Duncan have I murdered. Put rancors in the vessel of my peace only for them, to make them kings, and mine eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man. Who's there? Well then, have you considered of my speeches? Know you that it was he in the times past, which held you so under fortune, whose heavy hand bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
It was yesterday that we spoke together, so please, Your Highness. And yes, you made it known to us.
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Is your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospel to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand has bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Aye. In the catalogue you go for men, as hounds and greyhounds, spaniels, mongrels, curs, shoes, water rugs, and demi-wolves are clubbed all by the name of dogs. Now if you have a station in the file, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it, and I will put that business in your bosoms, which in execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us, who wear our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whose vile blows and buffets and so insist that I am reckless of what I do despite the world. And I another, so weary with disaster and tugged with fortune that I would set my life on any chance to mend it or rid of it.
Both of you, no Bengal is your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine, and in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrust against my nearest of life. I'll call upon you straight. Resolve yourselves apart.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight. Abide within.
Naught had, all spent, where our desire was got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on? Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. Should close and be yourself, whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. Thou knowest that Benko and his fiancé lives.
But in the nature's copies not etern.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou drunken.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Thou marvelst at my words, but hold thee stiff. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So prithee, go with me.
Who did bid thee join us?
Macbeth.
He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices and what we have to do to the direct and just.
Then stand with us. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day, that spurs the night a traveler apace, to gain the timely end, and near approaches, the subject of our watch.
Hark, I hear horses.
Give us a light there. Ho!
Then 'tis he, the rest there within, note of expectation are already in court.
His horses go about. Almost a mile, but he does usually, so all men do. From hence the ballast gate, make it their walk.
A light, a light.
'Tis he.
Stand to it.
It will be rain tonight.
Let it come down.
Oh, treachery! No! Finish revenge!
Who did struck out the light?
Was it not the way?
There's but one down. The sun is fled. We have lost the best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.
You know your own degrees. Sit down. And first and last, a hearty welcome.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Our son will mingle in society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps your state, but in the best time, we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends. If my heart speaks, they are welcome.
See, they encounter thee with their heart's thanks. Here are the tables even. Anon, we'll drink and measure the table round. Look upon that face.
'Tis Banquo's men.
It's better be without than he within. Is he dispatched?
I'm my good lord. The story's cut.
Or with the best of the countries. He's good at like for plants. If that is it, you're with the non-correct.
Most royal sir, fiance escape.
Here comes my fate again. I had also been perfect. Whole as the marble, found as the rock, as broad and free as the casing air. But now I am kept, cribbed, confined, bound in with the saucy doubts and fears. The banquet safe?
I'm my good lord. Safely and cheap by. 20 trenchant gashes on his head, the least the death of nature.
There the growing serpent lies. The worm that's fled. Hath nature that in time will venom thee. If you go, all will hear us again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold that is not often vouched, while 'tis of making. 'Tis given with welcome. To feed were best at home. From thence, the sauce to meat is ceremony. Meeting were bare without it.
Sweet remembrance, sir. Good digestion, whet an appetite, and health on both.
May it please your highness sit.
And all of you can measure the table round. Avaunt, and quit my sight. Let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom. 'Tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
What man dare, I dare. Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros of the Hyprian tiger. Take any shape with that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble, or be alive again. And drive me to the desert with thy sword. If trembling I inhabit then, protest me the baby of a girl. Unreal mockery. Hence, horrible shadow. Hence! Why so? Being gone I am man again. Pray you sit still.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting, with most admires disorder.
Can such things be? And overcome us like a summer's cloud, without a special wonder? You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe, when I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, when mine is blank with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question rages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
We'll have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move, and trees to speak. And augurs have, by understood relation and by maggot pies and troughs and works, brought forth the secrets man of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning. Which is which?
My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are but young, indeed.
My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret further. Only I say, things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth. Murray, he was dead, and the right valiant Banquo walked too late, whom you may say, fleets killed for fleets fled. Men must not walk too late. And who cannot want the thought how monstrous it was for Malcolm and for Donalbain to kill their gracious father? Damned fact, how it did grieve Macbeth. And they did not straighten highest rate to delinquents tear that were thralls of sleep, but slaves of drink. Was that not nobly done? Aye, and wisely too. For 'twould have angered any heart alive to hear the men deny it. So that, I say, he has borne all things well. Only I say, if he had Duncan's sons under his key, as ain't please heaven, he shall not. They should find what their killy father, so should fleets, but peace. For from broad words, and, 'cause he filled his presence at the tyrant's feast, I hear Macduff lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell me where he bestows himself?
The son of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds the Dove River, lives in the English court, and is received in most pious Edward with such grace that the malevolence of fortune takes nothing from his high respect. Thither Macduff, to aid Northumberland, the warlike steward, that by the help of those who may give to our tables meat, our nights sleep, free our feasts and banquets from clay knives. This report has so exasperated the king that he prepared for some attempt of war.
Sent he to Macduff?
He did with an absolute, sir, not I. The cloudy messenger turns me his back, and as who should say, you'll work at the time that you call me with this answer.
And that might advise him to a caution. So hold what distance his wisdom can provide. Some holy angel fled to the court of England and behold his message ere he come. That a swift blessing may soon reach this our suffering country. Underhand a curse.
I'll send my prayers with him.
Harpier cries, 'tis time, 'tis time.
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrail toad. The under cold stone, days and nights have 31. Soldiered venom, sleeping gods. Boil thou first in charmed pot.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burning, cauldron bubble.
Fill it of a fenny snake. In the cauldron boil and bake. I've the newt, clove of frog, tongue of bat, bull of the dog. Add a fork and blind one sing, lizard's leg, and owlet's wing, 4 times palpable, like a hell broth, boil and bowl.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burning, cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and gold. Of the ravines, salt sea shark, root of hemlock, a dig is a dirt. Liver of a blaspheming Jew, gal of goat and slip of ewe. Slivered in the moon's eclipse, nose of Turk and Tartar's lips. Fingers of a birth-strangled babe, ditched river, guy drab, make the scroll thick and slow. Now let's add a tiger's chaldron to the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burning, cauldron bubble.
Pouring baboon's blood, then the charm's farming good. By the pricking of my tongue, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks.
How now, you secret black of midnight hags? What is to do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you, by that which you profess, by every Answer me.
Speak. The man will answer. Saith, thou'st rather hear from our mouths or from our masters?
Call them. Let me see them.
Horn sows blood that hath eaten her 9 pharaohs. Grease that swim from the murdered gibbet thrown into the flame. Come high or low thyself and office deftly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought, hear speak, but say thou not.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Beware Macduff. Beware the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me. Enough.
Whatever thou art, for thy good caution thanks. Thou hast harped my fear right. But my heart yearns to know one more thing.
You will not be commanded. Here is another, more potent than the first.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth.
Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to the scorn of the power of man. None of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
And live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make a sure and double sure, and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live to tell till the heart of fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this that rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon its baby brow the round top of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak not to it.
Be lion metal, proud, and take no care. Who chafes, who frets, conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be, till great Burnham wood and Dunsinane hill shall come against him.
That can never be. Who can impress the forest? Bid the tree unfix its earthbound reach. Sweet bottomance, good, rebellious dead, rise never to the wood of Burnham rise, and our high place Macbeth shall live the least of nature. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall banquisition ever reign this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and eternal curse fall on you.
Show.
Show. Show. Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down. Thy crown does sear mine eyeballs. And thou hair, thou other gold-bound brow, is like the first. The third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? A fourth? Start, eyes. What? Will the lines reach out to the crack of dew? Another yet? A seventh? I'll see no more. And then an eighth appears, which bears a glass, in which I see many more. And some I see with 2 full balls, and treble scepters carry. Horrible sight. But now I see 'tis true. For the blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. What? Is this true?
Aye, sir, all this is so, but why sin Macbeth thus amazingly? Come, sisters, cheer we up his friends, and cheer the best of us sights. I'll charm the air to give sound. Will you perform your antic round? That this great king may kindly say, our duties did his welcome pay.
Where are they? Gone? Let this hour stay nay curses in the calendar. Come in without there.
What's your grace's will?
Saw you the word sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping of horse. Who was that came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time. Thou anticipates my dread exploits. The castle of Macbeth I will surprise. Seize upon Fife. Give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. But no boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before my purpose cool. Where are you, gentlemen? Come, bring me where they are.
What had he done to make him fly to land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our fears do not, our actions do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom? To leave his wife? To leave his babes? His mansion? His titles? All the place whence himself does fly? He loves us not. He wants the natural touch. For the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight her young ones in her nest against the owl. All is the fear, and nothing is the love. As little is the wisdom. So where the flight runs against all reason.
Madam, I pray you school yourself away for your husband. He is wise, noble, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel at times when we do not know ourselves, and hold rumor from what we fear, yet know not what we fear. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Father he is, and yet he is fatherless.
I am so much a fool, should I stay longer. If be to my disgrace and your discomfort, I take my leave at once.
Sirrah, your father is dead. What will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, Mother.
What, with worms and flies?
With what I get I meet, and so do they.
Poor bird, thou'dst never fear the net nor the line, the pitfall nor the gin.
Why should I, Mother? Poor birds, they're not set out for. My father's not dead, for all your sayings.
Yes, he is dead. Now what will you do for a father?
Nay, what will you do for your husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
You'd buy them and sell them again.
Thou speakest with all thy wit, and yet with wit enough for thee.
Is my father a traitor, Mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
One that swears and lies.
Be it all traitors that do so?
Everyone is a traitor and must be hanged.
Who must hang them?
Why the honest men?
Then the liars and swearers are fools. There are liars and swearers enough to be with the honest men and hang them up.
Now God help thee, poor monkey. But what will you do for a father?
My father's not dead for all your sayings. For if he were, you'd weep for him, which is a good sign of having a new one soon.
Poor prattler, how thou talkest.
Bless you, fair dame. I am not to know. Though in your state of honor, I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly. If you will take a homely man's advice, be not found here. Hence with your little ones. To fright you, methinks I am too savage. To do worse to you with fell cruelty, which is to deny a person. Heaven preserve you. I dare abide no longer.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm. But then again I remember I am in this earthly world, where to do harm is often laudable, and to do good is often accounted dangerous folly. Why then, alas, do I put up that womanly defense, to say I have done no harm? What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where thou mayst find him.
He's a traitor.
Run away!
Traitor! What, you ain't? You imply treachery.
Kill me!
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there leave our sad bosoms empty.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and, like good men, bestride our downfalls and birth them. Each new morn, new widow's howl, new orphan's cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face, that it resounds as if it fell with Scotland, and yelled out like syllable of dawn.
What I believe I will, what know, believe, and what I can redress. I shall find time, friend, I will. When you have spoke, it may be so perchance. This tyrant whose sole name blisters their tongues was once so honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me, and wisdom to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry God.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an impure charge. But I shall crave your pardon. That which you are, for my thoughts could not transpose. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. Though things foul, should wear the brass and get grace, yet grace will still excel.
I have lost my hopes.
Perchance even there why find my doubts. Why in that honest of your wife and child? Those precious motives, those strong nuts of love, without leave taking, I pray you, but not my jealousies, your dishonest, but mine own safeties. You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Bleed, bleed, poor country. Great tyranny, lay thou thy bases shore, for goodness dare not check thee. Wear thou thy wrongs, the title is afeard. Fare thee well, lord. I would not be the villain that thou thinkest for the whole space in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich east to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps and it bleeds each day, new gashes added to her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right. And here from gracious England have I offer of goodly thousands. But for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head, or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it did before, more suffering, more sundry ways than ever by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself I mean, whom I know, all particulars of vice so back, and they shall be opened up. Back of death was seen as pure snow, and the state esteem him as a lamb, he compared to my finest arms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned than evils to top Macbeth.
I get bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, spacking every sin that has a name. But better Macbeth than such a one should be framed.
Boundless intemperance. In nature is a tyranny. It hath been the untimely emptying of the happy throne and fall of many kings. Yet fear not yet to take upon you what is yours. You may convey your pleasures in a spacious plenty, and yet seem cold. The time you may so hoodwink. We have willing dames enough. There cannot be that vulture in you to devour so many, as will to greatness dedicate themselves, finding it so inclined.
With this comes this most affection, such a staunchness of avarice, there I king, I could not notice for no end. There are his rules and his other passion, and my more having the assaults to make me hunger more. That I would forge quarrels, and just to give them good and loyal, destroying them for well.
This avarice sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious root than summer seeming lust, and it hath been the sword of our slain kings. Yet do not fear, Scotland hath poisons to fill up your will of your mere own. All these are portable, with other graces weighed.
But I have none that can become the graces, as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, courage, patience, fortitude. I have no relish with them, but about each of the several times. Now, if had I power, I should put the secret who conquered it in hell, for the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Oh, Scotland! Scotland!
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live. O nation miserable with untitled tyrant, bloody scepter, when shalt thou see thy wholesome days again? Since that the truest issue of thy throne by his own interdiction stands accursed, and does blaspheme his breed. Thy royal father was a most sainted king. The queen that bore thee, oftener upon her knees than on her feet, died every day she lived. Fare thee well. These evils thou repeatest upon thyself have banished me from Scotland. O my breast, my hope ends here.
Macduff, this noble passion, child's integrity, hath from my soul wiped back scruples. Reconcile my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. Devilish Macbeth, by many of these trains, has such winning into his power, and modest wisdom plucks me from overcourageous haste. The God above deal between thee and me. For even now I put myself to thy direction, and I speak my own detraction. Here abjure the taints and blames I lay upon myself for strangers to my nature. My first false speaking was this upon myself. What I am truly is thine and my poor country to command. Whither indeed her words before. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile. See, who comes here?
My countryman, yet I know not.
My ever-gentle cousin, welcome hither.
I know him now. Good God, the times remove the means that make us strangers.
Sir, amen.
Stand Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself, where sighs, shrieks, and groans and rend the air are made, not marked. Battle sorrow is a modern ecstasy. The dead man's knell is Zarathustra asked from whom, and good men's lives expire before the flowers in a cap, dying where'er they sicken.
Oh, relation, too nice and yet too true.
What's the newest grief?
Each hour does hit this new one. Each minute does hit new.
How does my wife?
You are well.
And all my children?
Well, too.
The tyrant is not battered at their peace?
No, they will walk peace right and leave them.
Be not enamored of your speech. How goes it?
Gracious England has lent his good sire and 10,000 men, an older and a better soldier none, that Christendom gives out.
Would I could answer these comforts with light, but I have words of howled out in the desert air, where hearing should not lash them.
What concern then? The general cause? Or is it take fee grief due to some single breast?
No mind that is honest, but it shares from low, where the main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly, let me have it.
Let not your ears despise thee forever, which shall burn them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guess it is.
Your castle surprised, your wife and babes savagely slaughtered. To relate the manner upon which these murdered years would be the death of you.
Merciful heaven, what manner pour you hath upon your brows? Give solemn words. The grief that does not speak whispers the outbrought heart and bids it break.
My children too?
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence. My wife killed too.
I have said,
Be comforted, let us make medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. All my pretty ones? Did you say all? Oh, hellkite, all? What? All my pretty chickens in their dam at one fell swoop?
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Sinful Macduff, they were all struck for thee, not that I am, not for their own demerits, but for mine fell slaughter on their souls. Heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger, lighten up the heart, and rage it.
I could play the woman with mine eyes and braggart with my tongue, but, gentle heavens, cut short all intermissions. Front to front, bring thou this fiend of Scotland and myself. Within my sword's length set him. If he escape, heaven forgive him too.
This tune goes manly. Come, go to the king. Our power is ready. Our act is nothing but our lead. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
After tonight's watch confused, but could perceive no shrinking in her corners. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from bed, throw a nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this one was fast asleep.
A great perturbation in nature, to receive at once the benefits of sleep, and do the effect of watching and discovery agitation. Besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, it is most meet you should.
Not to you nor anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. Lo you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and, upon my life, fast asleep. Observe her, stand close.
How came she by that light?
Why, it stood by her. She is light by her continually. 'Tis her command.
You see her eyes are open.
Aye, but their senses shut.
What is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands. I've known her continue in this a quarter of an hour.
Yet here's a spot.
Hark, she speaks. I will sit down what comes from her, to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out, damn spot. Out, I say.
1, 2, why then 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie. A soldier and a feared. What need we fear who knows it, when none can hold our power to account? Yet who'd have thought the old man have had so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? Will these hands ne'er be clean? No more of that, my lord, no more of that. You mar all with the starting.
Go to, you have known what you should not.
She has said what she should not. I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh, oh, oh!
What is said there? The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well, well, well.
Pray God it be, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice. Yet I have known those who have walked in the sleep club right fully in their beds.
Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again. Banquo's buried. He cannot come out on his grave.
Even so?
To bed, to bed. I hear a knocking at the gate. Come, 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 come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed, to bed, to bed.
Will she go now to bed?
Directly.
Foul whispers are abroad. Unnatural deeds to breed unnatural troubles. Infect these lines to their death pills. What is charged their secrets? More need she the divine than that physician. Oh God, forgive us all. Look after her. Remove from her the means of all annoyances. And sympathize upon her. So good night. My mind she has made it, and amazed by my sight, I think, but dare not speak.
Good night. Good doctor.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all till bird and mortar move to Judson. I cannot take with fear. What's the boy, Malcolm? Is he not born of woman? The spirits know all mortal consequences who pronounce me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false stains, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by, and the heart I bear, shall never sag with doubt, nor shake with fear. Devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced moon. Where goest thou that goose look?
There are 10,000 geese, villain, soldiers, sir.
Go, prick thy face, and overread thou fear, thou lily-livered boy. What soldiers packed? Death of thy soul. Those linen cheeks of thine are counselors to fear. What soldiers, whey-face?
The English force so please you.
Take thy face hence. Satan! I am sick at heart when I behold. Satan, I say! This push will cheer me now or deceit me ever. Satan!
What's your grace's pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord. Which was reported.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my armor.
'Tis not needed yet.
I'll put it on. How goes your patient, doctor?
Not sick, my lord, as she is troubled with the coming fancies that keep her from her rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind disease? Pluck from a memory a rooted sorrow, raise out the grim troubles of the brain, and with some sweet, oblivious antidote, cleanse the bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart.
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs, I'll none of it. Come, put my armor on. Seated, send out. Doctor, the things fly for me. If thou couldst, cast the water of my land. Find your disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health. I would applaud to the very echo that should applaud again. Pull it off, I say. What rhubarb, senna, or what purgative drug could scour these English heads? Hearst thou of them?
Aye, my good lord, your royal preparation makes us hear something.
Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and bane, till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
Were I from Dunsinane, away and clear, profit again should hardly draw me here.
Cousins, I hope the days are near at hand that chambers will be safe.
We doubt it nothing. What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham. That every soldier hew him down and bow, and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shatter the numbers of our hosts, and make discovery
shall be done. We learn no other but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane, and will endure our setting down before it.
'Tis his main hope, for there is advantage to be given. Both Moore and Rex have given him the revolt, and none serve with him the constrained things whose hearts are absent too.
Let our just censures attend the true event and put beyond industrious soldiership.
The time approaches that will with due decision make us know what we shall say, we have, and what we owe. Thoughts speculative their unsure hopes relate, but certain issue strokes must arbitrate, towards which advance the war.
Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still they come. Our castle's strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here let them lie, till famine and the ague eat them up. Were we not forced with those that would be ours, we might have met them Darethil, beard to beard, and beat them backward home.
The cry of women, my good lord.
I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been. My senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek, and my fill of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir as life were in't. What was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. Creeps in this petty pace, from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. But come thieves that come, let's story quickly.
Gracious, my lord, I should report which and say sought, but not know how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I stood my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Vernam, and in none me thought that would begin to move.
Liar and slave!
Let me endure your wrath, do not be so. For the true melody may see it coming. I say, a moving drove.
If thou speakst false, upon the next tree shall thou hang alive, till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I cannot if thou dost for me as much. I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not, Macbeth. Macbeth shall never bankest be until a great Burnham come to hide Dunsinane Hill. And now a wood comes toward Burnham, armored out. If this achieve vouchers does appear, there is nor flying hence, nor tarrying here. I begin to be aweary of the sun, in which the estate of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell! Blow wind, come rack. At least we'll die with harness on our back.
Fare you well. Do we but find the tyrant's power tonight, let us be beaten if we cannot fight.
Make all our trumpets speak, give them all breath, those clamorous harbingers of blood and death.
tie me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one I am to fear or none.
What is thy name?
Thou to be afraid to hear it.
No, though thou callest himself a hotter name than any that is in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself could not have pronounced a more hated title to my ear.
No, nor more fearful.
Thou liest! The poor tyrant! With my sword I shall prove the lie speakest.
Thou wast born of woman, but swords I smile at. Weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by one that's of a woman born.
That way the noise is. Tyrant, show thy face. If thou beest slain, and with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched kerns whose arms are hired to bear their staves. Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword with an unbattered edge I sheathe again undeeded. There thou shouldst be, by this great clatter, one of the greatest notes seems brooded. Let me find him, fortune, and more I beg not.
This way, my lord. The castle's gently rendered. The tyrant's people on both sides do fight. The thanes do bravely in the war, and little is to do.
The event with foes that strike beside us.
Enter, sir, the castle.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Whilst I see lives, the gashes do better upon them.
Turn, hellhound, turn.
Of all men else I have avoided thee, but get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. Thou art a bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
Thou losest labor. As easy mayst thou be entrenched in air, impress as make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born.
Despair thy charm, and let the angel who thou still serves tell thee, Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Accursed be the tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these draggling fiends no more believed, than palter with us in a double sense, than keep the word of promise to our ear, and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show, and gaze the time. We'll have thee, as our rare monsters are, painted on a pole, and under it, here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and be baited with the rabble's curse. Though thou oppose being of real one born, yet I will fight the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him the first cries, hold, enough.
Some must go off, and yet by these I see, so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid his soldier's debt. He let live, but tell his man, the wedge consider has prowess confirmed, the unto station when he fought, but like a man, he died.
Then he is dead?
Aye, and brought off the field. Your cause of sorrow was not measured by his worth, for then it hath no end.
Had he his hurts before?
Aye, on the front.
Why then God's soldier he be. Had I as many sons as I have hairs on my head, I would not have wished him a fair death. And so his knell is an old.
He is worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
He is worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his scores. And so God be with him.
Here comes your comfort.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearls, who seek my salutations in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland.
Hail, King of Scotland.
We shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your several loves and make us even with you. My thanes and kinsmen henceforth be earls. The first that ever Scotland in such an honor named. What's more to do, which should be planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad, that fed the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who as his thought by self and violent hands took off her life. This, and what needful else, that calls upon us by the grace of grace, we will perform in measured time and place. So thanks to all at once, and to each one whom we invite to see us crowned its gone.
advisor at OPHC. These rambunctious, they're really happy. They make our grades 4 through 8. We only have one 8th grader in our whole cast, and they all just did so fantastic. So if you have any questions about drama or any of the classes at OPHC, I'm available for questions after the show, which is now. Please drive safely, and thank you so much for such a great audience.